podcast about something where each week we dive deep into whatever it is we find interesting. I'm your host, Calvin, and joining me from a dewy meadow, it's your co-host, Nick Richardson.
Dewy meadow of death and
Oh,
metal.
Shit.
Yeah, bro. It's
We
like
are
lions
talking...
and tigers and bears, oh my.
Damn. Well, I mean, those animals are cool, but are they really crazy or fucking metal? Because that's what we're looking at. We're looking at crazy nature, dewy meadow, maybe not necessarily crazy or metal, quote unquote, but great place to be to talk about nature and to just explore nature.
That's your safe space, because
Exactly.
everything I mentioned, dude, is metal as fuck. Let me just say that right off the bat.
Okay. But we're going to go even further into the metal dump. We are talking nature is metal, crazy, natural things that go on. But first, before we get to that, we need to give, from last week's episode, we got to give a shout out to David Wallace. We can maybe officially say listener of the show, actor Andy Buckley, who plays David Wallace on The Office. And we also want to shout out to John Allure with the Who Killed Teresa podcast. That's at Teresa Allure on Twitter, who referred our little ragtag podcast here where we talked about The Office management to Mr. Buckley, David Wallace himself, and said he was probably going to listen to it, and at some point said about us, ha, that's funny, in regards to something we did. Don't know if it was actually listening to the podcast, something we said on Twitter, whatever, but David Wallace at least thinks some aspect of you and I is, ha, that's funny. And I'm good with that.
I'll fucking take that. If it's funny looking, talk funny, I don't give a shit.
I don't think he knows what we look like, so I think we're safe at least there.
He might be sleuthing. He might be
That's
like,
true.
damn, that dude's voice is velvety fire. Let me see where he's at.
So yeah, Monday, really big day for us. So also just quick shout out to us for being awesome and probably funny.
I mean, hopefully.
Anytime, if David Wallace, you're still listening, I know your name's not really David Wallace, but, you know, just let me have some fun here. Anytime you want to come on the show, you're invited. Hit us up on Twitter. That's at APA something, at alone_podcast. Love to have you.
I would love to.
And we'll call you by your real name if you're actually on the podcast. We won't call you David Wallace the whole time, unless you want us to.
He probably doesn't.
No, I would doubt it. He's been in I've seen him in other things, and he's always very funny, but he's always David Wallace also.
I just saw him in Always Sunny.
Yeah,
Episode
he's
of that.
in that.
That's about all.
He's done a lot of work. And you suck it. You suck it, and then you suck it, and you suck it.
Still pumped. That was awesome.
All right, so let's return to the dewy meadow now. We're back in our dewy meadow, recording this podcast. If you hear birds chirping, butterflies flapping, that's what it is. And you wanted to introduce something interesting to what we're talking about. So what we're going to do is we each picked three crazy or quote unquote metal, as you put it. Like, that's not a thing I say, so it doesn't like resonate in my brain. So I might just say crazy throughout this. You can call it metal. All right. Let's just establish that here in the beginning. We're looking at crazy animal adaptations, plant adaptations, and places don't really adapt, but like places that are fucking cool or crazy or like metal extravagant in some way.
And by metal, I mean like, it's fucking metal, bro. You know what I mean?
I gotcha. Like Dark Knight's metal.
I mean, I got to give a shout out to Hold My Popcorn. They got this thing called the Metal Meter, and I've had this in the back of my mind for a long ass time, because it's like, you know, nature is pretty fucking metal. It will chew you up and spit you out, and there's some gnarly shit, really gnarly shit.
And this podcast
on Earth
episode bumped off national monuments off of our queue. So if you can imagine how much cooler this is than us talking about national monuments, then you've got it.
Plus, you'll learn something. I mean, you'll probably learn of some. We're going to talk animals, plants, and places. So you're probably going to learn some places you don't want to fucking go, some animals you don't want to come across, and some plants that
I think my places are actually all places you would want to go. Potentially. I went the opposite way. I went like so cool that they're just fucking awesome.
That they're just metal as fuck.
Yeah.
I am very curious about. Let me just say this. I have a personal curiosity about everything I have on this list. So I was super excited to put that together, and obviously I would kind of want to go there because I have a personal thing with them, or I just would want to see it and experience it for like 5 minutes, and then I'm out.
And we'll talk about that when we get to some of these things. But we are going to steal sorry, hold my popcorn. We're stealing the metal meter for this episode. If you want to learn more about the metal meter, go listen to Hold My Popcorn. But basically, we're just going to rate things 1 to 10 on how fucking quote-unquote metal it is.
Quit the quote. How metal it is.
It's not part of my lexicon, man. Sorry.
All right.
I'll do my best.
Cool.
Quote-unquote metal. So let's talk quote-unquote. I'm doing quote fingers every time I say it, too. Just, nobody can see me, but I'm still
You should just put a little video of you doing that repeatedly with one of that emoji heads on it. Ooh, instead of Dr. Evil placed on your face. Just
instead of the little, I usually pick a GIF that has something to do with what we're talking about with the new episode. I'll just do a GIF of me doing finger quotes.
I'd love to see a GIF of that.
You're wrong. So let's start with animals. Who kicks it off? We each got 3.
I'm going first on this one, man.
All right. It's your plan. You got it. You take it.
I mean, animals. That's all I have to say. Animals are already metal as fuck. Think about it. If you have a cat, you have a super lethal predator that you call Buddy, that you feed.
I do not call cats buddies.
But, I mean, they would eat you very quickly. Like, I love my cat.
That's why I don't keep them around.
I love my cat. Cats are dope, man. Not big cats. They will fuck you up. So that's kind of where I'm going with my first one, and I actually heard about this animal.
I would much rather own a tiger than a house cat.
Get the fuck out of here.
Look, tiger stays out in the cage. You throw him a steak every once in a while. Every once in a while, some drunk assholes steal him and bring him to the Bellagio or Caesar's Palace, whichever one it was. You get him back eventually. You put him back in the cage. That's fine. Cats, they're just always in your shit. They're mischievous. They're jumping all over everything, all mimbly-bimbly and whatnot. They're chewing cords. Like, I can't handle it.
My cat is a little bastard.
All right, anyway, let's go with your first pick. That's enough on cats.
I heard about this animal on the Joe Rogan podcast, man. That's my number one show, bro. But he has this cat on there named Forrest Gallant, who is a basically wildlife nature expert in the same vein as Steve Irwin. Very interesting cat. Very interesting dude. But he mentioned these, and I went down the rabbit hole, and it's the Okavango Botswana Island Lions.
Oh, shit.
So, yeah, Botswana.
Shout out Botswana.
They don't fuck around. So, basically, they were marooned 15 miles off the mainland on an island a couple, 100 years ago or whatever, with giant water buffalo / bison. And these motherfuckers evolved to be twice the normal size, roughly, of mainland lions. Like, a lioness is the same size as a lion on the mainland. And they take down fucking water buffalo, dude. Giant, 2,000-pound creatures. That's all they have to hunt, so they had to, grow to match that size. When normally, shit would just die out. They would just be gone. Learn how to fucking swim and shit.
I feel you. And I'm gonna pause for a second here, and let everyone know that you're going to want to be close to your Google machine as you listen to the rest of this podcast, because you're going to want to look this shit up and see what he's talking about. Because like Nick's talking about it right now, and it's really hard for me to picture as he talks about it. And we'll share links, with the show notes and everything. So you just click that link, boom, right there. You're on it on your phone.
Well, I'll say it again. If you don't want to go through that trouble, the Okavango Botswana Island Lions. These things are magnificent, bro.
Because
they're so
that
fucking
is a
metal.
super easy thing to spell too.
I don't give a shit.
So how big are these lions? I think you said it already, but I missed it.
They're roughly. I couldn't find concrete sizes because I don't think people really want
to. That's the best way that I would have.
What's that?
Compare them to another animal. Was it like a mountain lion type size?
No, like twice the size of a normal lion.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, think of a normal fucking lion, like a big male lion, and double it.
Well, to me, that's not as impressive anymore. Taking down the water buffalo. They're the same size as a water buffalo. I thought this was like a smaller thing taking down the water buffalo.
I mean, they're probably 800 to 1,000 pounds.
I mean, a person can take down a water buffalo
with a fucking gun. Water buffaloes are mean as shit, dude. They will trample your bitch ass to death.
I feel like water buffalo is not the right term.
It's water buffalo, water bison. It's it has a horn. It will trample you to death, and it's very mean. It's basically a land hippo.
Hippos are
think
dangerous.
About it. That's what makes it so fucking metal. Is these lions that not only didn't dilute their gene pool enough to the point where they're all just deformed ass lions. Or maybe their giantism is deformation.
Yeah,
I don't know.
maybe that's what happened. You should have done your research here. Come on.
There's not much out there that I could really find because people don't want to go there, dude. I wouldn't want to fucking go there. Just saying.
Not if I had to fight one of these lions. I mean, I'd bring my pet water buffalo with me, that's for sure.
You better believe it. My Pokemon water buffalo. There's
probably my pet tiger, too.
Yeah, fucking right. 2 tigers.
I would not bring my house cat to fight these lions.
Imagine how big that would be. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I keep thinking about that and the fact that they just evolved to take down the largest predator on the island and survive, and they're still around today. I think that's just amazing. Instead of just dying out, they learned to swim extremely well. That is fucking amazing.
Shout out to the Botswana Lions.
There you go.
Sounds like a really shitty soccer team.
It really does.
All right, so is it time for the metal meter?
I think it's time for the
I think I should get
meter.
So I think for your points I get to rate them first, and for my points you get to rate them first. That's how we should roll.
Let's do it. But you have to say metal meter, like metal meter.
I'm not gonna do that.
You gotta fucking do it, man.
I'll just let you do it every time.
No way.
So it's time for the. Hey, this is where you say it. Come on.
YMCA.
All right, so I give them like a 6 on the metal meter.
A 6 on the metal meter, dog.
I just okay, they're big lions. Fine. Doesn't impress me.
Bro, you're not impressed by fucking lions? The king of the jungle, the apex predator. Disney made a movie about these motherfuckers.
Yeah, where they all die.
Yeah, no way. I mean, they had like 3 movies. Simba, he's a beast. Childish Gambino voiced his ass. Come on now.
I brought up a picture. They look like plain ass old lions.
Yeah, but gigantic lions. I think you're forgetting the fact that lions are apex predators and would fucking murder you.
Well, yeah, I'm not about to go pet one, but so they're big. Like that's their adaptation. They're big. Come on now.
That is so badass, man. How do you? All right, fine. I don't think.
What's your metal meter for the Botswana lion?
100.
Well, that's not 1 to 10.
1 million. Big metal meter. It's just big metal meter. They're double in size metal meter.
Yeah, I mean, if we were judging if it was a size meter, then I'm with you. But we're not. How cool do you think this thing is? Doesn't blow my skirt up. Sorry.
Just because it's big. I guess I'm more fascinated with lions and cats in general. Because I mean, its paw would just decleat you in a sec. I mean, your legs would be gone. I keep picturing it just swiping at your head.
Are you a huge fan of like George Mirasan, who's just like this tall dude? Okay, so he's fucking awesome because he's bigger than everybody else. Come on now.
If he was a lion, I mean,
he's a basketball player. He wasn't very good.
I've never heard of the motherfucker.
George Mirasan?
Just because he's
he was
very
like the
tall.
7'8" dude that used to play for the Bullets. When the Bullets were a thing in the 90s. Bigger than Sean Bradley.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, I got this thing.
So let's go with that. Sean Bradley. Everybody knows who Sean Bradley is in his fucking Space Jam. Are you that impressed with Sean Bradley?
No.
He's a goofy, gangly motherfucker.
These lions are not gangly, Calvin.
So they're like the Shaq of the lion world instead of the Sean Bradley.
Think of it like this. Do you think elephants are very metal?
No, like the size doesn't impress me that much.
I'm not saying, but Alexander damn near conquered the whole entire East with fucking elephants. Carthage, I'm just saying.
Well, yeah, because nobody else had seen an elephant before, and they were massive.
Yeah, and they fucking whooped everyone's ass. You know what I'm saying? Imagine a pride of like 100 of these lions. They would do short work of the entire Swedish military. Or Norwegian. I mean, Beck's fellow people.
Why are we going to war with Sweden with lions?
Oh, I'm not
We have
saying we
tanks
are.
and guns,
The Lions
Nick.
are. The Botswana Lions are. They don't fucking want the Swedes
Yeah,
or
but they would get
Norwegians in
their
there.
asses kicked in a soccer match against the Swedish team. That's all
They
I've
would-
got to say. The
They would
Botswana
shit
Lions.
on that soccer ball, and they would swipe it a million miles away because their shoulder muscles are fucking jacked. It's a hard 8 on the metal
We're just
meter.
gonna have to agree to disagree here. I feel
Hard
like.
8 on the metal meter.
All right, so I do not listen to the Joe Rogan podcast. So most of my research was from various listicles on the internet. I just Googled craziest animal adaptations, craziest plant adaptations, craziest places to see or visit kind of things. So this first one, BusinessInsider.com, is one of them where I got most of my animals from. Got some more animals from Needorama.com, and I'll share all these links. Got all my plants from Owlcation.com. Did a great 20-point list of all the best, coolest plants. And then for my places, I got from RoughGuides.com. So
Nice.
sorry, Joe Rogan. Not a fan.
I'm not really a super big fan, but I like Forrest Gallant.
My first pick for the most metal animal, and he's not nearly as dangerous or as lethal as the Botswana lions, is the Alaskan wood frog. And here's why. This motherfucker lives in Alaska, and they can survive for up to 60% of the winter coldness of Alaska by just freezing their body like they're fucking frog Captain Americas. And then
60% of the time, 100% of the time.
hold on, I think I read that stat wrong because I was trying to read it and parse it at the same time. To survive the winter, up to 60% of the Alaskan wood frog's bodies freeze solid. So 60% of their body just freezes.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Aren't they cold-blooded reptilian, technically?
Yeah. So this allows them to survive temperatures as low as negative 80 degrees
Amphibian.
Fahrenheit. And then they thaw out in the spring, like Captain America in 2012, to fight the fucking aliens. I don't think they fight any aliens, but
No, they're trying to get that frog.
they're all up in Alaska's business at that time.
Just overrun by these fucking frogs.
So it says they build up high concentrations of glucose, up to 10 times their normal amount, in their organs and tissues, and then the sugar solutes act as cryptotectants, preventing their cells from shrinking or dying
Some
during
big
the winter.
words there.
Yeah. Cryptotectants. So they, yeah. But, like, to me, that's much cooler than a lion that just got big. This frog adapted to a climate that they shouldn't be able to survive in by just deciding they're going to eat a bunch of sugar and then freeze for the winter.
That's pretty fucking metal.
It's
I
galaxy
mean, I'm not
brain
gonna lie.
hibernation.
That is metal as shit because you would not think a frog would do something like that, especially in Alaska. And
The Alaskan wood frog did it, man.
I mean, I've heard about amphibians doing stuff like that, or like slowing their heartbeat.
Well,
to
you
the
hear
point
it
where,
with the iguanas that, like, people in Florida will capture them and then put them in these big freezer trucks, thinking that they're dead, and then they wake up like once the freezer truck starts to lose what's it called?
they shut the reefer
Coldness.
off.
Yeah. Once it gets warmer in there, all the iguanas fucking wake up and are just
Loses
roaming
the
around.
coldness.
Yeah. Or like it happens to iguanas just in Miami, if you have a really cold freezing day, like all the iguanas just stop moving, and then the next day when it's warm they just start falling out of the trees as they wake up because they're like not gripping anything anymore.
And all the bums are just like smacking them with sticks, like, yeah, I'm hungry.
Only if they're high on bath salts.
Ooh, I mean, they're eating faces at that point.
Yeah. Iguana faces. All right, so you get to give the metal meter first.
I'm giving that a 7.5. That's metal as fuck, dude. Not gonna lie, that is metal as shit. I mean, they're in a I wonder how they got there. So not only did a frog get to Alaska, which
Business
is
Insider does
extremely
not
odd.
have that information.
I wonder what they feed on.
Press
too. I
swim.
mean, it's swim from where? And that's the thing.
I mean,
How
it's
did
Alaska. It's not the North Pole or like Antarctic Circle.
But it's still relatively. I mean, I live in the Midwest. It gets cold as balls here.
Oh, I know.
It's way colder in Alaska.
Negative 80 degrees Fahrenheit.
Fucking darker and shit like that. So I mean, their summer months are
Vampires
shorter.
running around and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a 7.5. Hardcore. That
I agree.
is super cool.
I think 7.5 is right where the Alaskan wood frog belongs because it's not necessarily lethal in any way, but definitely very sweet adaptations to commit them for life to the Alaskan terrain.
I mean, he's pretty lethal if you look at it this way. I wouldn't survive a -80.
That's true.
I mean, he's a naked Alaskan wood frog. I'm a naked human being. I'd be toast in like 13 or 14 minutes.
It's very true.
He's
All
just
right,
like,
what do you
I'm
got
chilling, though.
next?
All right. This one, I think everyone is familiar with, and they're metal as fuck. And it's polar bears.
Yeah,
'Cause
I need
they're
you to stay.
bigger.
I'm aware of, yeah, because they're larger than regular bears, obviously.
They
No,
are
I'm going to
larger
need you
than
to state your case, though. I'm aware of what a polar bear is. I don't need to Google image search that one,
Here I
but
go.
I'd like to hear your case for this.
I
I've never
I
thought
think
of them that way.
the opening line for how they're referred scientifically got me. They're referred as hypercarnivorous. That sounds metal as fuck.
That sounds dangerous. See, you
that's-
went after lethality.
Not necessarily. I went after lethality, adaptability. And I think it's incredible. Like, I'm going to go back to my Lions. The fact that they didn't just die
No, we're
out.
past the Lions, Nick.
I was
You've
giving
made
it 13
your point.
seconds.
I disagree.
Now you're gonna make it last longer, Calvin. Just hear me out. The Lions.
Nobody likes the Lions.
So, think about
Listeners,
it
let
this
us
way.
know if you like the Lions.
Yeah.
Okay,
Please do,
here,
actually.
let us know on Twitter at APA something at alone_podcast. Do you like the Botswana Lions that Nick described more or less than the Detroit Lions in the NFL? I think that's a good barometer right there.
I'm going with the Botswana Lions still.
I would go with
Fuck
the
Lions.
Botswana Lions over the Detroit Lions.
100%. All right, but I mean, okay, so they're obviously big, hyper-carnivorous critters running around where it's cold as shit. And
Think they ever run into the Alaskan wood frog?
they probably eat 1 million of those to get full. And at 1,500 pounds roughly and 8 to 10 feet long, that is just an incredible animal. 1,200 psi bite. I'm not super familiar with psi. Like, that means
It's
nothing to
pounds
me.
per square inch.
Well, I know what that means, but woo,
maybe the listeners
You know
don't,
what I'm
Nick.
saying? That would crush my
Yeah.
skull. I know that much.
Let's see. Inflate a bicycle tire to 40 psi.
I've heard someone do
That's
that
pretty,
at
like,
a
tight.
gas station. It sounded like a bomb went off. It's
Yeah.
terrifying.
Yeah, so imagine that times 300 biting you. And there you
Okay,
go.
Yeah, fuck that. They're technically a marine mammal because they spend so much time in the water. And to think about a creature that big using that much energy being able to A, sustain itself on the minimal wildlife around, and B, not die from the freezing fucking cold. They have up to 4 inches of fat protecting them from the weather. Like, that's a crazy adaptation in my opinion. 4 inches of fat, and also their sense of smell. When you think about a whiteout, you can't see shit, and without that sense of smell, you're fucked.
Find those seals, no problem, though.
I mean, seals stink like shit. They stink like dirty fish. And last but not least, the in Novayana Zemyala, Russia, was invaded by about 50 polar bears and attacked the shit
for
out
them.
of people. I'm sure you heard about that.
I didn't. Why would I? Why would that be on my radar?
Maybe I just weird. I read weird shit, but yeah.
You definitely read different shit than I do.
I try to read everything because I find it fascinating. But dude, that's fucking metal.
I'm agreeing with you here. I'm giving them a 7.8. See, they lose. I would give them an 8, but they lose 0.2 points because I like seals, and they're just mean to seals. Polar bears are dicks to seals. That's the tagline.
Dude, polar bears are dicks to everyone. They hunt
Yeah,
people.
but I don't care about any of that other stuff. Leave the seals alone.
Take the movie The Thing, replace that with a polar bear, just as scary.
Didn't they do that with Liam Neeson recently? No, that was a wolf in The Gray.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're metal AF, as the kids would say.
Metal AF. I gotta give polar bears like an 8.2.
Yeah.
Just because I think I'm sad to see them dying out. So obviously their adaptation and evolution can only go so far. But when they live on the extremes in the sense of, minimal prey, terrible environment.
Exactly. Yeah, just
it's not a good time.
The fact that they've adapted to stay alive without freezing their entire bodies for the winter and they can always find food that they need. Do they hibernate like other bears?
I don't think so. I think they roam
Yeah,
year round.
that was my impression also. But I didn't research this list point you did, so I thought maybe you would have an answer. You
I'm
know about
almost
them attacking
positive.
the Russians, but not if they hibernate or not, so that's good.
Well, hibernation is not metal, Calvin. Attacking Russians
I
is
mean,
metal as
sleeping
fuck.
for 6 months straight, I'm in for that.
That is not metal. Attacking the Ruskies, that's metal. Metal.
All right, so number 2 on the Calvin list of cool animals is the okapi. Okapi. Something like that. Okapi. That's how it's spelled. Native to the Democratic Republic of Congo, these guys have adapted to avoid predators in very auspicious ways. They have scent glands in their feet, and they use infrasonic communication. So, what that means is they have scent glands in their feet. They can smell what's been on the ground around them without, like, poking their nose in. They can just smell shit by walking around. That's pretty fucking cool. And they can avoid predators by doing that.
What is it? Is it a lizard?
It is it's like in the deer family, antelope type thing.
Okay. But they still gotta walk around. Like, they're obviously very visible to predators if you're walking around smelling after shit.
Oh, no. Sorry, I misquoted that. The scent glands mark their territory, not search for predators.
So it's a convenience factor.
Yes.
They don't have to piss all over everything.
Correct.
They don't have to stop to drink all that water. Fair. That's pretty metal.
And so the avoiding predators comes in with the infrasonic calls, which they can communicate with the calves without predators hearing their calls, which is pretty cool. So it's like almost a dog whistle between the animals.
Okay, that's metal as shit.
And, you know, they threw this in there in the article I read. This is Business Insider again. They have 14 to 18 inch long tongues, which can be used to wash their eyes and ears.
Oh,
that to me wasn't metal, so I was kind of leaving that out. But
that's fucking metal, though. I gotta say, that's metal. I'm giving that like on a 4 on the just the eyeball washing thing with your tongue. That's like a 4 on the metal meter.
I mean, I think frogs can do that too, right?
Yes, that's pretty fucking metal.
Plus, they look pretty badass. They're like they're a mix between like a deer and a zebra and an antelope. They got a lot of things going on. A little bit of giraffe face thrown in there. It's a pretty cool looking thing.
It's a giraffe egg from Pokemon. Pokemans.
Sure. Okay, I'm not a huge Pokemon. Like, I don't have deep Pokemon knowledge. I like the idea of Pokemon. I just don't have that deep knowledge base there.
Anyway,
I'm not there. My daughter won't play Let's Go Pikachu with me enough that I can learn all the fucking Pokemon.
Send me a Switch and I will play it with you, Calvin. Yeah,
send me $300.
You got it. PayPal.
Okay.
But anyway, I'll give it a 5 on the metal meter because it sounds like it is super visible. I don't, in the Congo, I imagine it is on the savannah a lot. I would tear that shit up unless it's like super duper fast.
Yeah, I don't know how so I was thinking the scent glands help them sense predators more so, but as far as marking their territory, I don't know how that helps keep predators at bay.
Well, I mean,
like, doesn't it lead them to you more? Oh shit, there was one of these guys stomping around over here.
Not necessarily. I mean, if it's like a noxious chemical smell, almost like how like bright colors in frogs and reptilians and stuff like that are signs of poison.
Something like that.
Maybe it just stinks like shit or stinks like straight ass, and lions are like, no, dog, I don't want any piece of that.
Could be. Not even the Botswana lions.
It sounds ridiculous. Sounds like something my kid would draw and just be like,
yeah, it really does.
It's random.
I'd give it a 6 just because of it's got several adaptations on top of each other. Like, it's one thing to just be able to freeze your body, but when you've got all this other stuff going on just for the sake of survivability, then I think that gives you an extra point.
I'll accept it. Sounds pretty tight.
Because, at one point they adapted to, okay, now we've got the scent glands in our feet. That helps us mark our territory. That's not doing a good enough job. Let's create this communication where nobody else can hear us. All right, that's not doing a good enough job. We can't see well enough. We got to find a way to clean our eyes. Let's make sure our tongues are a little longer. So they adapted to help save themselves several times and are still going. So that's pretty solid. They're one of the oldest mammals on Earth.
You have swayed me, Calvin. I will agree with it.
All right, we give them a 6. They're still the lowest on the list, I feel. And probably will continue to be.
They're minimal metal.
Yeah.
All right.
If you get less than a 5 on on the metal meter here, you're automatically disqualified from the discussion, I think.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
We'll have already had the discussion, but whatever.
Whatever.
You'll be deemed unmetal.
Non-metal.
You can go
Dark
hang out.
Knight metal.
You can go hang out with Dark Knight's metal because that's how non-metal you are.
It's fucking bougie.
Hate Dark Knight's metal.
So bad.
I hate that I wasted time reading it.
Yeah, I hate that I spent like $150 collecting all the comics.
Ugh.
Fucking bullshit.
I got some toys from it because the toys look cool, but other than that, no. Get out of here.
I'd stay away.
All right, number 3 on the animals list, Nick.
This one is dope as fuck and probably my favorite pick.
You gotta save the best for last.
I mean, it's the Harpy Eagle. That name is just super tight. Look up a photo of a Harpy Eagle, especially one next to a person. They are obviously eagles, and they're referred to as largest raptor in the rainforest. They're raptors, bro.
It's a goofy looking bird, though, man.
What's that?
It's a goofy looking bird.
It is, but it will fuck you up. With wings, I mean, it's got a wingspan of 5'9" to 7'4", which is long, but not the longest wingspan. I actually thought it was really neat because they have wider wings so they can take sharper turns, and it just makes them, tighter flyers. Mm-hmm. So when they're in the rainforest, they can, cut on a dime and snatch a goddamn howler monkey out of the tree and just bounce out of there. And I mean, at 27 pounds...
I don't like looking at these pictures anymore, man. They're like staring into my soul.
Dude, they are horrifying. At 27 pounds, that's a fucking heavy bird. They have hollow bones, and it's 27 pounds? Jesus. And there's rumors that they have stolen some children. They could crush their skull by the sheer force of their claws, which are the size of tiger paws.
I would not keep one of these as a pet next to my tiger.
No, they are metal as fuck.
So I'm gonna nerd out for you for a minute. In Game of Thrones, Song of Ice and Fire, we have the Sons of the Harpy who are attacking Dany and her team in Meereen. The
Correct.
Harpy is a mythical beast, beast woman, I believe, is what it is, both in real life mythology and in Westerosi mythology, or I guess it would be Essosi mythology. And it's like this eagle, like this giant eagle lady. So I'm guessing that's where this gets the name from. And like if you go back and look at the Game of Thrones imagery around the Sons of the Harpy and just like the Harpy statues that are on top of the pyramids in Meereen, like they've got the profile of this bird's head pretty well on, which I'm sure like they did it on purpose. But yeah, this is a fucking scary bird, man.
Yeah, dude, that thing is metal as fuck.
I'm gonna have to go with like a 9 on this, man.
Oh hell yeah, man! I was right there with the 9 with you, brother. It's a metal as shit.
Unless you brought a literal dragon to the table, nothing's getting a 10. So a 9 is good as you're gonna get here from me.
I mean, especially if you folks look at this on Google real quick, you'll understand. And imagine if you have kids out there. My daughter is almost 16 months old. She's about 25 pounds. So imagine, holding that for a minute, 2 minutes, you feel it.
Oh, yeah.
It weighs on you. And this bird routinely snatches that weight out of trees on a dime, cutting on a fucking dime, and then ascends with it, killing it the whole way up. It feeds on our ancestors. That's so fucked up. Metal as fuck.
All right, so my last pick is the pistol shrimp.
That's a 10. Metal as fuck, dude. Pistol shrimp.
That's the end of it. It's a 10. It's a fucking 10. It's over. Send them home. It is over. Kenny Smith voice. So this dude has got a shooting claw. He's just a shrimp like every other shrimp.
What? A shooting claw?
And the research on this one comes from Nidorama.com. It's number 4 on their list of 6 seriously strange animal adaptations. It's got a normal claw on one hand, and then it's got a disproportionately large claw with 2 interlocking parts. So you know how shrimp claws, they usually they don't fully interlock, they grasp, right?
Right.
So when the interlocking parts of the claw, when one of them is pulled, it releases the pressure inside the claw, and just a wave of bubbles spews out. And this wave of bubbles contains so much energy that it is inside the bubbles. It is as hot as the surface of the sun, and they use it as a defense mechanism or to capture and cook their prey.
Bro, are you serious?
Yeah.
Does it detach?
No. The claw doesn't shoot out. It like collects water
it's like
and air.
Hydraulic arm.
Yeah,
I get
it
what
collects
you're
water
saying.
and air inside it, and then it opens and releases the bubbles.
Oh, that is metal as fuck.
Yeah, and on
my
Nidorama.com,
God.
which I'll link to, there's a video of it, and it's fucking crazy.
What the fuck are these called? Pistol shrimp?
Pistol shrimp.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh my god.
They
wanna
live
eat
mostly in
one.
oyster reefs in the ocean. It's a crazy thing.
Oh my fucking god. The first question on Google is, can pistol shrimp kill human?
I would imagine, like, as hot as the sun, if you, like, I don't know that it could kill you because the blast is probably not big enough, but it would burn whatever piece of skin it touched pretty fucking bad.
As hot as the sun, that is an incredible amount of pressure.
Yeah,
Holy
if it hit you in
shit.
the right place, I guess. If it hit you in, like, the eyeball, it would kill you, I would assume, but...
Blow your fucking nut off.
Yeah.
That'd be no bueno.
So, and after learning of the pistol shrimp, my new headcanon for Finding Nemo is that the shrimp that's in the aquarium at the dentist's office that has a thing for bubble, like he's the one controlling the bubbles when they do Mount Wanahakalugi.
Right. Yeah.
He's this type of shrimp, and that's why he's in charge of the bubbles.
I'm there, dude. 100%. I'm gonna give that a fucking 8.9. Just because the Harpy Eagle is
yeah,
metal.
it's got to be right there because the pistol shrimp, you're not
So
intimidated
metal,
just by looking at it.
No, I'll stomp that shit. But at the same time, that is metal as fuck. Imagine if it was twice the size.
Right. Well, see that I would be on your same page when you exponentially increase the size of a shrimp. That's impressive. When it's like a lion but bigger, to me that's not as impressive because a lion is an impressive size all on its own. A shrimp is not. So if you get a giant shrimp, of course that's going to be scary. Even a regular shrimp
way
would
more
be scary.
scared of. Give me a 7-foot shrimp. I don't give a fuck, dude.
Except you're
I would be-
underwater with the 7-foot shrimp. Are you that good of a swimmer? Better than a 7-foot shrimp is basically an alligator, except it has 2 claws instead of a jaw.
I'd much rather be underwater with that thing than on land with. I'd rather be on land. No. I'd rather be nowhere with this fucking lion because it can swim. It's on an island, Calvin.
Can it climb
swim.
a tree? I can
Yes.
climb a tree.
Yeah, lions can climb a tree in like 2 seconds.
Can
Fucking
it
people
fly
have
in
been
a
trying
plane?
that shit on the African savannah forever.
I think we need to move on to plants.
Let's do it. We'll
I get
move
to-
through plants pretty quick.
Yeah, I get to go first on plants, right?
Let's do it.
Is that how we're going to go?
Yes.
All right, I start with an easy one. The Venus flytrap.
I wanted to do that. I really did. That is still metal.
I've always been enticed by the Venus flytrap, and it's like a cool thing, and I've never really researched it, so I wanted to take a little time to research it. And all of my plants, like I said, come from owlcation.com, and it's the list of the top 20 weirdest and most interesting plants and fungi in the world.
Really is.
So I wanted to pick one of these carnivorous plants. There are several carnivorous plants. There are about 100 species, but there's like tens of thousands of species of plants out there. But
Right.
what makes the Venus flytrap even more metal than your regular run-of-the-mill carnivorous plant is that it also can perform rapid movement, and there are only 4 plant species that are capable of rapid movement.
If it can catch flies, that's rapid.
And it can catch anything, but also, like, to be fair, the flies and the insects kind of stick inside, like their mouths are somewhat sticky. And this is something I didn't know. They are native to North and South Carolina. I thought they were like Amazonian plants. I didn't know we had them here in the U.S.
That makes sense because they're very widespread in Walmart checkout lanes.
So it says in North and South Carolina, the soil is so low in nutrients that the Venus flytrap had to adapt to capture its own prey. And the trap is triggered by hairs on the face or the mouth of the Venus flytrap. And if something touches more than one hair within 20 seconds, it closes.
Yeah. That is dope.
And another cool thing about the Venus flytrap is that healthier Venus flytraps close faster than less healthy ones. So like they kind of age out. Yeah, they age like people.
Get that Venus.
Yeah.
Eating on them gross fucking
flies.
Yeah,
if they eat a lot of like hornets, I would think would probably be high in fructose or something. I don't know. I'm just making shit up.
Bam. I'm gonna give that shit we give it a 6.
Wow.
Just because I mean it's so common. That is really what's bringing it down for me in regards to how metal it is. But it's still metal as fuck. Don't get me wrong.
It's a plant that can attack you, Nick.
Maybe if it was double in size, I'd give it a higher rating, Calvin. But I mean, it's just a plant. So
we need some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle ooze dumped on them, and then you'll say metal. All right,
in that case, that's a 10.
It's no fucking pitcher plant that just sits there and waits for things to fall into it.
That thing is metal as shit. It liquefies. It would liquefy you, Calvin.
This would eat you.
It would also liquefy you too. So either way, you're getting juiced.
All right. I disagree. I think it's higher. 7.5, 7.6 at least.
It's our biggest discrepancy so far.
Yeah, it can fucking eat, man. No, I think the lions was a big discrepancy. You said like an 8, and I said like a 6.
You bastard.
Sorry.
You will come to my way of thinking. These lines are dope.
I'm not saying they're not.
I need to find a comparison, like an average human compared to this lion.
It's the Shaq of lions. I get it, but Shaq's not that impressive. If the Botswana lion can put down a triple-double, then I'll be there for it, all right? Call me when the Botswana lion puts down a triple-double or makes a free throw. Shaq's not good at free throws, but I bet he's better than the Botswana lions.
I don't give a fuck about free throws, man. Look at that man drinking a bottle of water. Look at yourself.
Can the Botswana lion dunk?
No, but it could eviscerate you.
All right, whatever. What do you got for your first plant?
This one will be super quick. The castor oil plant, specifically its seeds. You may be familiar with this because its seeds contain a chemical called ricin. And Walter White used that to poison motherfuckers.
It's Breaking Bad shit. Go back to listen to the Walter White Kills episode.
Right? They're in millions of homes all over the world. And most people don't know that their seeds contain this poison, and if you can manufacture it, as seen on Breaking Bad, it's nasty shit. It's metal as fuck. Poor Brock.
Never forget.
Well, he wasn't poisoned by this.
I guess not. He's poisoned by something though.
What's her face?
The symptoms mimicked that. The other lady flu. Was.
Yeah, at the very end. She got poisoned by ricin.
We did a whole episode on it. Go listen to that episode instead of this one if you want to know more about how Walter White kills people.
But that's my pick. Castor oil plant, its seeds, ricin, you dead.
I give it like a 4.
A 4? Dog.
You gotta extract the oil from it. You gotta cook it some way. You gotta manufacture it. Like the plant is not deadly at all just by looking at it. It's not gonna snatch your hand.
Neither is a Venus
plants are hard
flytrap.
To judge on how metal they are. Because at the end of the day, it's a fucking plant.
Right. I mean, I'll stomp that shit. I will set it on fire. I have fire. So, I mean, I'm good. But I thought that was metal. So
what was your score
I gave it a 6.
Right.
Very, very metal.
I'll come up to a 5 on it.
Considerably when it's up regarding
I'll come up to a 5 on it because it's got the potential to kill. So it still registers in metal. It doesn't have to be relegated to Dark Knight Metals territory. My number 2 is the Strangler Figs.
Oof.
What?
Strangler Figs?
Yeah.
That just sounds fucking metal as shit.
It is. So these are the figs are, or the nut is dispersed onto tree canopies by hitchhiking with birds. So like birds will pick them up somewhere and then they'll just kind of chill out and then they'll drop on top of trees. And once they drop on top of trees, they start growing. And they grow upwards and downwards around other trees, quote unquote, strangling them in the process. So it grows upwards and steals sunlight from the host, and then it grows downwards to steal nutrients from the roots of the host. So like the roots are trying to push the nutrients up throughout the tree, right? And the strangler's just there like sucking that shit off.
Yeah, no, dog. Thank you.
These are found in Australia. And honestly, we could probably do just this whole thing on crazy shit in Australia, but we didn't.
Fuck that. Yeah, no, I'm good.
So yeah, that to me was crazy that like this nut just chills out until a bird drops it on a tree and then it just destroys the tree. And
Fucking
becomes
wrecks
the
that tree.
Yeah.
That is metal
you,
as
tree.
shit. I gotta give that like an 8, dude. That is metal as fuck.
As far as plants go, like it's not lethal to me, but it's lethal to every other plant around it. So you got to give it credit for. You can't necessarily compare, lethality towards humans and everything. It takes out its own kind.
It's like the most lethal thing in its environment. Which, I mean, that's metal as fuck.
If you could kill a tree, like trees are fucking hard to kill. You know how long it would take to chop down some of these trees in the rainforest? This thing just grows around them and steals shit from them.
It's like, no, I'm gonna take that and that and that and that. What is your rating?
What did you give it? Like an 8? Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
8. Yeah,
8.
That's it.
Yeah. So my second pick was one I kind of had to dig a little deeper on. It's referred to as Little Apple of Death, and it's the Hippomane mancillanella. This thing is nasty.
These plant names are hard to say sometimes.
For real.
I like my list that I found because they give like the common name for everything.
Little Apple of Death. That thing is,
fuck.
Yeah, badass. It does not like company. If you brush against it, it has a white sap it produces, which pretty much to every person you have a violent reaction on your skin. So like if you stand beneath this thing during a rainstorm, it's going to cause you to blister like acid almost. It's fucking badass, dude. It melts people's skin. Fuck that. If you brush into it, if you ingest it, it'll cause nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, seizures, and can lead to fucking death. That's metal as fuck.
I'm good. Yeah, that's a 8.2 on the metal meter. I don't really have anything to say on it like that because it can hurt humans, and I assume it can hurt plants around it too. If it drips on plants, it can probably hurt animals. Like it's hurting everything. So that gets higher than the strangler fig.
I'm very curious why it's called the Little Apple of Death. I need to do some more research on that. People out there, if you know how to get a hold of us on Twitter.
Yeah, we've mentioned it. So when I was doing my research, I'm using my allocation list. It's the top 20 of weirdest and most interesting plants. I only got through the top 10 before I found my 3 that I was going with. And I was just looking through this list, like as we were, we took a little break for a second. So I was looking through this list at some of the lower points. And I just want to give out a shout out. I'm not going to talk about it all because I didn't do any research on it. But I got to give a shout out to the Dragon's Blood tree.
Oh, I think I've heard of that before.
Got the baddest ass name.
That is so dope.
All right. Back to my actual number 3 pick.
Hold on, I didn't give it a rating.
Oh, yeah, you didn't give your score. Sorry.
I'll give it a 7 simply because it will melt your shit. That's pretty fucking that's metal as shit. But
I know that's low, man.
You got to be in the perimeter.
That's true. But I mean, with plants, you got to give a relative scale here because with all plants you have to be in a perimeter.
I don't think it would
Venus
kill you.
flytrap's not going to come across. It depends. If it falls on your eyeball, it might.
Well, right. It can ultimately cause death. But I mean, fucking looking at the
like
sun can cause
the
death.
pistol shrimp.
Not farting can cause death. I mean, so it's.
Or if you have a fart attack like Jerry on Parks and Rec.
Oh, what is Thomas?
Just want the doctor to say he had a fart attack.
I would pay a doctor. I'd be like, I'll give you $50. Just say it.
All right, so my number 3 option for plants is the hammer orchid. And this one is hard to explain without looking at a picture. So if everyone just takes a second, grab your phone, Google hammer orchid, so you've got a picture in your mind as I'm talking about it. Okay?
Dude, that
Are we
thing
there?
looks
Everybody good? Just wait.
Kind of fucking dope.
It's a weird looking thing. It's if you didn't Google it, which fuck you, first of all, I asked nicely.
But fuck you.
It's like a kind of a normal plant. It's got a little flower at the end, and then like it kind of curves off like a cursive R almost into this weird fruit-shaped thing, purple fruit kind of thing on the end. All right, so the purple fruit thing on the end, that's what we're going to be focusing on here. And I just took this straight from the allocation list. It says, this endangered orchid from Western Australia, again, back to Australia, gets pollinated in a unique way. So the red thing on the end, the purple thing that I mentioned, and then there's a black thing on top of the purple thing that looks weird if you're looking at the picture. It says, well, you'll find this appendage on all of the Dracea glyptodon, that's the scientific name for the hammer orchid that you come
dinosaur.
across. Female thynid wasps happen to be flightless. They also happen to climb on top of plants to signal to the male wasps who can fly. So they're just sitting there chilling, and then they signal a male wasp, and a male wasp comes by and picks them up. So the male comes by, picks them up, does this thing to reproduce with them during flight, and then just drops them. They're like, fuck it, I'm done with you. Wham, bam, thank you, man.
Peace.
So the hammer orchid mimics the female thynid's wasp body. That's what that little purple thing is. That's supposed to be the female wasp.
Snap.
And so now the male wasp swoops in and picks up that little flower from the end, and when he's done fucking it, he drops it off, and it pollinates surrounding areas.
No shit, dude. That is a nut bomb. Just fucking metal.
Oh, no, sorry. I didn't read the whole thing. I should have. So the male wasp tries to pick up the fake female wasp and instead gets pitched into a mass of pollen. To actually finish pollinating a plant and keep this orchid species going, he has to come in contact with another one and try to fuck it. So he has to be fooled twice. Also, the plant smells like raw meat.
Oh.
So he tries to fuck this flower. Doesn't work. Pollen sprays in his face. The flower fucks him instead. Flies away, pissed off that he didn't get his nut off. Finds another one. Tries to fuck it. And actually fucks the plant this time. So shout out to the hammer orchid and all of the wasps fucking them.
That is metal as fuck. That is like a 10 out of 10 metal.
The fuck bomb plant, we're gonna call it from now on.
The fuck bomber. It's metal.
What is your number 3? It's hard. I mean, I agree. It's a 9.8. I can't give it a 10. Can't do it. I mean, the fuck bomb is as close to a 10 as you can get, but
that's metal as shit.
I don't think you can top it, but let's see what you got for number 3.
My number 3 pick is metal as fuck in the metaphorical and the actual sense. It's metal as shit. It's known as the Rhinoriae nicolifera. But this plant can absorb up to 18,000 times or 18,000 parts per million of nickel in its leaves. Pun intended. That's 1,000 times more metal than's present in any other plants. And as you know, nickel is kind of fucking poisonous to people, like hard as shit. And if you think about it, this plant could be used to kind of help recycle nickel over time. If you can find a way to break it down, absorb it into the plants, harvest or burn them off. There you go. I mean, you have a green recycling. So that's metal as shit, dude.
Well, what do we actually use nickel for? Like
phones, computers, like nickel alloy is in a ton of shit. It's a highly conductive metal.
If you say so. I'll just have to take your word for that. I'll give it like a 6. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'll give it like a 6 though, because like it eats metal. Fine.
A plant that eats metal? Do you eat metal, Calvin?
I could eat a nickel. Give me a nickel. It's not that hard.
I will give you a nickel.
I understand a nickel is not the same thing as nickel, but it was an easy joke, so I had to do it.
Right. My name is Nick too, so I mean, there's where the pun came in. But it's when you think about something that's extremely poisonous to humans, think of it on the scale of like lead or mercury. Like it will fuck you up. And I think it's dope that there's a plant out there that basically is just like, delicious. I'm going to recycle this for you. Thanks. So that's metal as shit to me. I'm going to give it an 8.5.
Is the plant trying to actually help us though, or is it just like a weird byproduct of plant shit?
That's just a byproduct because, I mean,
are any wasps fucking this plant for its
No, it's not a fuck. I gave yours a 10, Calvin. Gave it a 10.
That's true. All right, move on to places. Number 1 place, what do you got, Nick?
Oh, bro. Number 1 place. I had my interest piqued by Dan Carlin in his Wrath of the Khan series, and it's the Mongolian Manchurian grassland steplands. Grassland, steppe, whatever. But it's a temperate climate. So it's hot as shit summers, cold as shit winters. It's cold a shitload of the time. It has every climate you can think of.
Very barren.
It can be. It has pristine grassland, deserts, the Gobi Desert, which a lot of people have heard of, dense forests, mountains, large bodies of water.
Desert.
Fuck the Gobi Desert, bro. It's super windy. No farming can really go down there. So they eat.
Somebody's got a tent set up in one of these pictures, though.
Right. I mean, they're nomadic.
Shout out to that guy. I'm sure you're listening.
I almost had their. They use eagles to hunt. I almost had them on my metal animals because I watched a video a couple months ago of these Mongolian eagles hunting a fucking wolf. They made a movie about Liam Neeson getting whooped, and this eagle, a goddamn bird that weighs
Liam Neeson beat the wolf.
I mean, it's very ambiguous.
Oh, yeah, I think I read that somewhere.
I think that is metal as shit, that it has every environment you can possibly think of on this area. It produced the hardest warriors pretty much in all of history when you think of, you know, the size of them, their logistics and stuff like that. Being a nomad tribe, eating nothing but goat. Like,
it'd be hard to be nomads there. Like, there's not a lot going on.
But that's all I mean, you can't sustain
I'm going to be a nomad. I need to be in a city.
Yeah, it'd
Give
be
me some shit to do.
Impossible.
Some nightlife.
That's why they just started killing and fucking everything.
Yeah.
So metal as fuck.
Imagine there's some fuck bombs going off in there.
Genghis Khan, I mean, his DNA is in, like, everybody.
That's fair. Yeah, I give it like a 7. It's a barren wasteland where if you're there, it's going to be a hard time to survive.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
Very open to predators. The elements are wild out there, as you explained. It's just not very majestic. See, I was looking for majesticism in my metal places, like places I would want to go and just look at. I don't want to go there and look at it. Like,
I want to go there
stare at a bunch of fucking grass.
Well, no, I'm saying it has every environment, dude. It has mountains. It has giant lakes and rivers. It's beautiful, but it's harsh. Like, it's a super fascinating place.
Some lakes, Nick.
But there's no deserts in Minnesota or mountains.
I think there are deserts in Minnesota. Like, some of those frozen tundra areas in the north and west of Minnesota, like, those are technically considered deserts because of the amount of rainfall they get, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff.
Well, think about that, and then you get, 90
Watch a lot of Fargo lately. I know what's going on up there.
All right, fine. I won't question you.
Did you give it a score?
I give it like an 8.2 because it's metal as fuck. Genghis Khan. Okay. Enough said.
Cool dude. Great role model. My number one place that I would like to share is the Giant's Causeway in Northern Ireland. And all of my places are from a list of 20 seriously weird places around the world by roughguides.com. This is number 2 on their list. The Giant's Causeway is the result of a volcanic eruption 60 million years ago, give or take a few years, which spewed out a mass of molten basalt. Basalt? However you say that.
Basalt?
The basalt? There we go.
Yes.
We'll go with that. The basalt solidified and contracted as it cooled down, and it formed cracks in these kind of cliffs, mountains, if you will, that appear to be over 37,000 polygonal columns. They're just, square, rhombus, polygons, columns in the area around here. So there's cliffs with like these rectangle, like 3-dimensional rectangles carved into them from where these cracks formed from the basalt. Is that what we landed on?
Basalt, yes, that is the accurate term from a geologist.
And these columns are geometrically perfect.
No shit.
Local legend says that giants created them, obviously. That's why it's called the Giant's Causeway. It's a pretty cool looking place.
That sounds tight as shit. Say the name again?
Yeah, Google it. It is the Giant's Causeway.
Giant's Causeway. My wife and I are actually planning trips to Ireland.
Go to Northern Ireland, find the Giant's Causeway.
I fucking might. Damn, that looks...
In this picture, I can see there's a guy standing on the mountain.
Dude, that looks metal as fuck. I would think an alien made that shit. Because I'm a Neanderthal.
Giants made it, but...
That is so cool.
checks your boxes. It looks cool, and it has something to do with giants.
Dude, that is metal as fuck. I'm giving that a 9. And it's in Ireland.
Yeah, I'm going a little lower on this because my next two I think are better.
I would just want to live there. That looks amazing.
I'm going with like a 7.4. It's pretty
cool.
Whoa,
that's a big disparity.
I think like it would wear off. You know, you'd go see it and like you're done with it. That's fine.
It's possible. I really like that shit though. So there's that.
I would definitely like to see it, but I'm not going to visit it more than once.
That's fair. That's fair. Acceptable.
All right, number 2, Nick. What do you got?
Number 2, I got the Vostok Soviet Union Research Station located in eastern Antarctica. This place is metal as shit because it's one of those few places that humanity had to back away from, that they just could not sustain it. I mean, if you think of the Russians during the Soviet Union time, they're fucking commies, dude. They do crazy shit. You get an order, you fucking do it. So these guys are dying out there like crazy when it's reaching...
Can you spell this word for me?
Vostok. Temperatures reaching a minus 128.6 degrees Fahrenheit. That's the record in 1983. That is the coldest temperature.
Watches.
What's that?
I'm just getting a bunch of watches.
Just look at Vostok Research Station.
Research Station. You gotta keep everybody informed that's Googling along with us.
There it is.
That is in the middle of nowhere.
Literally. It's the coldest temperature ever recorded on the planet Earth. So, well, at least by human beings on a weather station. So yeah, that place is metal as shit. I would not want to go there. Fuck that.
Yeah, it's, some shady shit went down there. That's for damn sure.
That's where the thing took place.
Yeah, probably. Or is it? Is that what was going on in the thing? I never saw the thing. I really need to watch this.
You really need to watch the thing, dude.
Dude, you haven't seen Back to the Future, so step off. I give this a 9 because some crazy shit's going down there. And probably, may still be going down. Who knows?
If only the Russians are going up there. Like, yeah. If Americans are like, fuck that, dude. I'm good. You Ruskies, you go have your fun. You go have your, Stoli and whatever else, your rotten commie potatoes. You suck the juices from them up there. We'll be cool down here where it's warm.
And so I read about this today, and I don't want to get too far into it because that's not what we're here to talk about. But the Russians have just registered a COVID-19 vaccine, and we don't need to discuss the validity of any of that. But I feel like that's something that happened in this research facility, right?
I could see it. I mean, it hasn't even technically been cleared from clinical trials. But yeah, I mean, that's where you would discover it, where you dissect
and
people.
From what I read, the researchers were infecting and injecting themselves with it. Is how they perform their research.
I don't know. Do this.
I don't know any validity to any of that. Like, I'm not fact checking here. Feel free to fact check me. But like, all I know is Russia registered this, and I feel like it happened in this facility.
I'm 100% on board with you there.
My number 2 is the Pamukkale Turkey.
Okay.
Pamukkale. I'm gonna go with Pamukkale.
1K short of the badness. Pamukkale.
No, not a bukkake. Pamukkale. So this is a place where water cascades from a natural spring and down white travertine terraces.
That looks beautiful.
And as it cascades down, it forms thermal pools. And to me, this is just one of the dopest looking places that I've ever seen. Because it looks like it's all snow, but it's just this white rock. And it looks like it's freezing, and these are thermal pools, so they're very warm. It comes from a natural spring, like I said, so the water's always ready for a swim.
Dude, that looks
stunning.
That
would be a super awesome place to go.
Oh my god, that looks stunning. And it's tiered, so you wouldn't have to worry about people being up your fucking ass.
You probably would.
Well, I mean, it has like rock formations that are almost individual pools.
Yep.
That's amazing, dude. I'm giving that a fucking 10. Not only is
10.
that one of the most
Fucking
stunning,
10.
that is metal as fuck, dude. That is the most stunning place I think I've ever seen. You don't have to worry about COVID because you got a built-in 6 feet.
There's nobody else there around.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
I feel like access may be an issue.
well,
Like how big are these cliffs in between these pools? How would you actually get? I guess you could get to the top level, but how do you get down to these lower levels?
you die. You slip, you die.
And how deep are they? Could you dive from one to the next?
I doubt it. I highly doubt it.
I
mean,
agree.
I
Yeah,
can't really
they don't
tell
look super deep.
the clarity of the water. I mean,
You
it
can tell
looks,
on the. So if you look at the top, which I'm just going to assume you're looking at more or less the same picture I am. If you look at that top row, you can kind of see the shore drop off at the edge of some of the pools. But yeah, I don't think they're super deep. But that'd be cool, like if there were caves underneath them also.
Oh my God, that'd be so
I think
tight.
that would make it a 10. So it's a 9.6 because you got the accessibility issues. How's a person in a wheelchair getting to take a dip in these pools?
I mean,
I need a ramp.
That's the best part. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to
No
swim in a
wheelchair
pool
people.
with someone
Nick
with a wheelchair.
hates people in wheelchairs. You learned it here today.
Dude, you should work for the Republican campaign. You're a natural. No, dude, this place is metal as shit.
If you gave me some caves under these pools, then it'd be a 10.
You already know there's caves. It's in Turkey, bro. That's where the Dead Sea Scrolls were found. There's caves there. There's probably... They just found a lead book that actually has a detailed version of Christ, apparently, and maybe a visual representation, a contemporary visual representation in Turkey. Just throwing that out there.
Could be. All right. Number 3, Nick. Bring us home.
I got you. This one, I'm sure everyone's probably familiar with, and it's the Mariana or Marianas Trench. This shit
There's a big shark down there.
There's a lot of scary shit, and I'll go through the animals.
Jason Statham that told me all about it.
Oh my God, it's Jason Bourne. That's my
Wrong
favorite.
Jason.
That's my favorite Jason. But either way,
Better than Jason Lee Scott from the Power Rangers.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he sucks.
So this shit is a huge area in the Pacific Ocean, and it's technically 1,580 miles in length, 43 miles in width. The maximum depth is 36,037 feet. That is
deep.
Fucking bananas. And they've actually found a deeper portion that's 36,201 feet. That's where all the aliens are, dog.
Yeah.
So,
do you have any stats on the pressure at that level?
I mean, it's unbearable. I could not find anything super concrete because
because nothing can actually get down there.
Right, but I mean, except for animals, technically. We've reached the bottom, James Cameron, my dog. But to put it in perspective, if you took Mount Everest and placed it in the trench at this point, its peak would still be underwater by 1.2 miles.
That's I heard that before. That's insane.
That's when you throw some, shit like that on there, it's just unbelievably insane. So, actually, I got some in my notes. At the bottom of the trench, the water column above exerts a pressure of 1,086 bars, more than 1,071 times the standard atmospheric pressure at sea level. So, imagine being at sea level times 1,071.
No, don't want to. I'm giving it a 9.8.
Oh, I haven't even...
It's fucking crazy.
Here's some examples of shit that lives in the Marianas Trench.
Don't want to know.
The black sea devil, the fangtooth, the goblin shark, the viperfish, the marine hatchetfish, the fanfin.
All sounds insanely deadly.
Insanely metal. Yeah. But oddly, it was rated a 4.3 on Google out of 5 stars with 394 ratings. I saw that and was just like, no shit.
Get those ratings up. Come on. I give it a 9.8. It's crazy. It's crazy that this exists. It's crazy how potentially deadly it is. It's crazy how deadly the sea life down there sounds. It's got to be the highest place rating.
That's metal.
Just in general.
Love it. I mean, that's a 10 out of 10 for me. Metal is shit.
You give out 10s too easy, but...
Because this world is metal as fuck. I mean, I think
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just not a 10 whore. I'm not gonna give my 10s out to just anyone.
I'll give it away. I don't give a shit. You get a 10, you get a 10, you get a 10. Calvin, you get a 6. Because you're not very
That's
metal, dog.
I mean, I'd give me like a 3, so. we're
Oh
good there.
man, that's even less metal.
I'm coming close to home for my last entry, and it's the Goblin Valley State Park in Utah. This is 216 miles southeast of Salt Lake City, which Salt Lake City kind of very interesting in its own ways, but we're
Very.
not here to talk about that. I'm a sucker for things that look like they're man-made but aren't. And this, fits that to a T. So in this place, look it up, Goblin Valley State Park.
I'm there for anything with the word goblin in the title.
Yeah, it's a good start. So at this place, there is like a plateau or a mesa in the middle of desert mostly, and atop of that there are these statues almost carved out onto the top of this mesa. And wind and water has eroded this sandstone in this area to form these strange pinnacles, sculptures that resemble to some people from far away goblins. I can see it. They just kind of look like big stone formations, but
Look like stubby dicks.
yeah,
There you go.
You could say that. And the crazy thing about this, the whole formation is about a mile across and 2 miles long. So the picture doesn't really do it justice of how huge these are.
No, I mean, I'm looking at it now. It doesn't necessarily, but I mean, that's extremely fascinating.
Think of that as a 2 miles long right there.
So, I mean, if you think about it like
That's
this,
10,000 feet, right?
it's a desert, basically.
No, 2,580 feet, or is it 5,280 feet?
5,280 feet.
Yeah. I only remember it from Remember the Titans. How many feet are in a mile?
I think it's
How many feet are-
5,283 feet.
Yeah. You pick this ball up and you run every one of them. You're killing me, Petey.
You're killing me!
So yeah,
5,280
that's a cool
feet.
place. Yeah.
Had to get that right. That
Thank
is dope as shit. I'll give that like a 7, dude. Mostly because of the historical ramifications behind it. It's been there so long. It's like that physical representation of time passing on Earth. I mean, it obviously takes a lot of
In
time
the
to
shape of
erode.
stubby dicks.
Right. Chubby little, tiny dicks. Goblins would probably have that. I mean, imagine Gringotts. They got little peckers. They're pissed. Get Harry Potter reference up in this motherfucker.
Yeah, you got me there.
That's fucking metal as shit, dog.
All right. So we talked about a lot of things. Have you ever actually come across any of these places? If so, which ones, or places, plants, animals? If so, which ones, and how did it feel? If not, which ones do you want to see?
I obviously have not come across any of these because I would be dead.
I'm in the same boat.
I would be
Yeah,
shitting.
those giant lions would take you out.
Oh my god. So if I had to choose between, of the 3, I would love to just be near a harpy eagle for like 10 seconds until my fear became palpable and it wanted to attack me. Like when it set its eyes on me, I'd be out. I'd be fucking gone. But that would be super duper cool to see.
So for me, from a safety point of view, I think you got to go with Alaskan wood frog. Not a lot going on around the Alaskan wood frog.
That's
if
fair.
You're just looking straight up safety. But I think what I would like to see is the pistol shrimp in action live. That would be pretty cool.
Make it double the size and then make
No,
it.
I don't want a bigger. All right, what about plants? Which one do you want to come across?
The double size plant. No, I would love to see. I mean, I've been around a Venus flytrap. I've had one actually. Very big hassle to deal with, but I would love to see it like in action.
In action, yeah, that'd be really cool.
Like a serious ass fly, like one of those big meaty honkers that kind of feed off rotting meat. There you go.
Yeah, I've always been fascinated by them. I don't think I've ever even actually seen one, like even in Walmart or, in the garden aisle at Home Depot
No
or anything
shit.
like that. Like it's never crossed my mind to go out of my way to look for it. So I don't think I've never noticed it.
They're
But I'm in the
literally
same
at
boat.
our garden center, like checkout in every Walmart. I have 3 Walmarts in my town. And there's literally at the
Bentonville,
garden
Arkansas
center
or something.
year round. What's that?
There's a sweet Walmart reference for you. I said, do you live in Bentonville, Arkansas or something?
I don't get that one. I don't get
It's
that.
the headquarters of Walmart.
Dang.
My Arkansas natives know what I'm talking about.
Calvin's metal as fuck.
No, I'm still
Arkansas.
a three there. Yeah, I would like to be around it and just watch it work, like for a day. Just see it like eat a bunch of shit throughout the day. That would be kind of cool. I would also have like a strange urge to touch it and see if it would bite me, and like that's a terrible idea.
I
So that's a
super
problem.
would. I would stick my pinky in it because it's like, man, it's the smallest finger. Like, if
I
it
would
dissolves
start with
my
like a
finger,
stick and see how that works, and then just like up the ante a little bit, until eventually, it's the end of the week, and all of a sudden you're putting your dick in there, and that's not good for anyone.
I just need to just touch it a little bit, please.
It was fine on my hand.
I'm sorry.
All right, what place are you going, Nick?
I'm going to the Mongolian steppe for like a day. I want to see it. I want to experience the Gobi
You're
Desert.
not setting up your tent there like that.
Hell no, I'm not eating goat guts and livers and shit. Fuck that, dog. I'm eating McDonald's. I'm not dealing with some bullshit like that. I'm not trying to ride on horseback for 80 miles a day or some crazy shit. Not that far. But, yeah, I would love to see it. Just the different environments so close together and the straight rawness of it. That'd be intense.
So you're not going to the bottom of the Marianas Trench.
Dude, fuck that. Calvin, I will say this in 100% serious. You could tell me you would pay me $10 million. I would not do it.
Well, no, because you're not ever going to rise to have that $10 million. So
yeah, I would be
really
dead.
matter. You're going to die. So yeah.
I don't want to see that scary shit. My luck, I'd be attacked by a giant squid or fucking the Loch Ness Monster.
Or the Meg.
I don't know. The creature from the Black Lagoon. Check out our classic monster episode. Dang.
A lot of those. It's the hot springs in Turkey. It just looks like an awesome place to be.
That does look like a magnificent. That's probably a better.
I think the most attainable one is the Goblin Dicks, but
probably
the one I would want to go to is the hot springs in Turkey. Like, I'd go to Utah. I've been to Utah. I wasn't close to the Goblin Dicks. If I was, I would have went to see them. Didn't know they were there. Shout out Goblin Dicks.
Yeah, I mean, I would be there in a heartbeat if my wife was like, "Hey, you want to cruise past these Goblin Dicks and just check them out?" I'd be like, "Fuck yeah!" You already know. I heard they have good food there.
So, in summation, nature's fucking metal.
Nature is
Quote,
metal
unquote.
as fuck, dude.
Quote unquote metal AF. Thank you for listening to us talk about crazy nature. If you have any crazy nature experiences, please let us know on Twitter at APA_something_podcast. Send us an email about it. A podcast about something at gmail.com. We will read your email live on the next show. Just because it's cool and we can continue it on. And then we'd talk about video game movies, but whatever, it's cool. We started this one talking about The Office. We can do it.
We can do it
anything.
all. I mean,
Yeah.
we're there. It's a podcast about something. We'll find a way.
Exactly. You got anything else to say about nature, Nick?
It's metal. That's it.
It is metal. Thank you for listening. All of the music for a podcast about something is provided by Those Cats.
And you guys stay sassy and metal.
Stay classic.